Happy New Year and welcome back to my channel. Hello everybody, welcome if you are new here. Welcome back if you are not new. I got my notes. I wanted to get into a couple of monogram bags coming out by Louis Vuitton. You know, I am a monogram girl. I'm a Louis Vuitton girl. I am also someone who can see the aesthetic in certain bags in other bags. So I'm going to also show you other bags that make me think of these bags that are coming out by Louis Vuitton that you may or may not be interested in. And maybe you're on the fence. I'm always on the fence. Now that I'm doing my no buy period, one of the traits that comes out is my analytical side. I really get deep into the weeds and the details of taking a look at what's already in my collection versus what's coming out. And I really like to go through a review of whether or not the features that are being offered are things that might be similar to what I might already have, or whether or not they're actually better. If they're worse, I also call that out. So let's get into it. About the Ivy Walk, and I'm also going to talk about the new Ellispse bag, which is a pull forward from the Louis Vuitton archives. I am going to talk a little bit about the Ivy Walk in connection to this product right here, which is the Louis Vuitton Eva clutch. The Ivy Walk is a new bag that Louis Vuitton is releasing. There are several reasons why you may be interested in this bag and you might want to spring for it, but I want to give you some alternatives to this bag in case you're on the fence. Ivy Walk comes out, and here are the bags that come to mind when I think of the Ivy Walk. I think of the Pochette accessoire. I think of the Eva clutch. I thought of the Pochette Metis East-West. I thought of the Ellispse. I thought about my own Chanel walk. So I thought I would come on here and talk a little bit more specifically about the Ivy Walk in conjunction with the Eva clutch from Louis Vuitton and the Wallet Unchained from Chanel. Because my belief is that the Ivy is a similar dimension to the Chanel walk, whereas the Eva clutch is a little bit longer in length. The second thing about the Ivy is it does look like it's a little bit wider on the sides versus the Chanel walk is a little bit more narrow. The Eva clutch is as narrow as the Chanel walk. This is about 1.5 inches across. This is also about 1 inch across. It does extend out, so I think I get a little bit more than an inch, but it's about a good inch. The Eva clutch is 1.5 inches across, but it's 9 inches in length and it holds a ton. It comes with this gold chain that is not detachable. What happens is I can unclip it on one side and turn it into a wristlet on the other. It does come with this red interior, no interior pocket, and it comes with a detachable leather strap. The Ivy Walk also comes with a strap. It also comes with a detachable gold chain. It comes with an internal card slot area where you can put your identification cards, or you can put some cash, or you might be able to put some additional cards there in that space. One of the reasons why you might be interested in the Ivy Walk, why I looked at it and thought, you know, it's not actually a bad bag. It does have some positive features. For example, it's not going to have this plaque on the front. Like, a lot of people don't like the fact that the Eva clutch, look him in this Damien bin, have this huge plaque on the front, whereas the monogram version has a smaller plaque on the front, but there's still some sort of metal element on the front that dissuades people. The Ivy Walk doesn't have that. The other thing that I think people might like about the Ivy Walk is the simplicity of it. The fact that it is all monogram, no metal. It's very under the radar. Some people might label under the radar as basic. I think we should do away with that. I think for Louis Vuitton, we all know at this point, the fact that the prices are close to $2,000 for the Ivy Walk means it's not really a basic bag. That's a luxury bag. That's a luxury to be able to afford that. So I do think that the fact that there's no metal and that there's no plaque on the front and that it's all monogram, there's no popping vachetta, does make that bag fly under the radar as a perfect neutral. I would wear a bag like that, obviously, because I already have one of these smaller bags. So I actually think that the Ivy Walk is a really great little bag. I think it's perfect for someone who's into Louis Vuitton and into monogram. I think it's perfect for someone who might want to test out a new Louis Vuitton product without spending a ton of money. Now, on to the reasons why you may not want to buy this bag is the price. I think this is the number one thing for me. And then the second thing I'll talk a little bit about afterwards. So the first thing that I think is the first con and the number one con for me with the Ivy Walk is the price. Now the Chanel walk is a $3,000 bag and the Eva clutch was a $700 bag. The Ivy walk falls right in between. I feel like the Ivy walk is on the higher end of what you might want to pay for an SLG. I recently just bought the Fold Me pouch, which is a Louis Vuitton SLG. That cost $1,200. So I think another $600 with the Ivy Walk that is similar in size to the Fold Me pouch, holds similar amount of things. I'm not entirely sure that is of value. I'm not entirely sure there's more value for your money in the Ivy Walk versus maybe a Fold Me pouch SLG, or even if you want to spring for something on the resale market, you're definitely going to pick up something that I think is going to be as practical and useful as the Ivy Walk, but probably at a more affordable price. Now, the other piece that I wanted to also make note of is the T26. In reference to the Ivy Walk, the T26 was a $1,700 bag, $1,750 I think, or something like that. And the Ivy Walk is $8. What I like about the T26 that Louis Vuitton just released is the fact that it comes with another T15 pouch. It's in my other bag. But if you take a look at that unboxing, you'll see, I'll go get it real fast. Okay. I wanted to go get the T15 that came with this new updated release of the T26. And that's what I mean is Louis Vuitton is going back into the archives and they're making additional features and they're making upgrades to old bags that we previously loved before. So if you were in the market for the Ivy Walk and you're thinking to yourself that maybe you'd be interested in the Ivy Walk, maybe you might also want to consider the T26 because it also comes with this T15 together. And the price points are very similar. So if I was in the market, I would definitely be interested in looking at both of those bags before making my choice. And if I did not have the T26 and I was looking for something that was around that price point, but I wanted to have a little bit more, I think, functionality and a little bit more options, I'd probably spring for the T26. Because the other thing that is comparable is the Ivy Walk has the 4 card slots inside. So does my T26. Only my T26 has 6 card slots inside. Also has the slip pocket at the top here, which is leather lined. I feel like the Ivy Walk is like half the size of this bag for the same price. I definitely don't know if I would spring for the Ivy Walk. You probably might be interested in that bag, but there might be other bags out there with similar or like features, if not better offerings for the same price tag. So I just want to come out and share some of my thoughts related to whether or not you might spring for the Ivy Walk. And then I also wanted to say real fast too, I brought out my Chanel walk. And I just brought out my Chanel walk because if you're interested in the walk aesthetic and you say to yourself, well, you know, maybe I do like a walk, but maybe I want to try and branch out. I still want something from Louis Vuitton and I have the money for it. And you say, I'm going for the T26 or I'm going to the resale market because I want something a little bit bigger, but I still want to walk. Here's the Chanel walk. It has this back pocket that it doesn't do much except hold maybe a card or tissues in my case. It does not have a lot of metal at all. So I really like that. Mine's is in the classic silver. And then also features many different interior pockets. So that's one of the things that I really like about the Chanel walk. One of the things that is different though is that this chain is not detachable. So if that's a turn off for you, then you might want to go for the Ivy walk because it does look like you'll be able to detach the chains that come with it. But if you are looking to maybe branch out beyond Louis Vuitton because you're just interested in something new, I know that is the emotion that hit me before when I decided to try Chanel, is I just wanted to try something new. And you might want to try the Chanel walk. It has all of these different pockets. I love that it's got all this different space. I love all the different functionality. I can fit my cards, I can fit my phone, I can fit my lip balm. I use this typically a lot for going out, going on trips, going on dates. So I feel like this is a highly versatile, functional piece. And if you're willing to spring for it, if you're willing to spring for the Ivy walk, but you might want to save a little bit more for a Chanel walk, I feel like this is still within the same class. It's just a little bit more money and maybe you might get a little bit more use out of something like this. But if you're into Louis Vuitton, I don't see anything wrong with getting the Ivy walk. I just gave you some other examples that you might be interested in and I just gave you some other bags to compare to in case you were still interested in that one, or in case you were on the fence and maybe you're trying to figure it out, or in case you were on the fence and you're just trying to make a decision. The next bag Louis Vuitton is coming out with is the Ellispse PM. You might be asking, why is she pulling out the loop? I'm going to tell you why I'm pulling out the loop in a second. Let's just talk a little bit about the new Ellispse PM. So this is a bag that is an old model Louis Vuitton is pulling forward. And I wanted to talk a little bit about it because I'm a fan of old models. I'm a fan of the vintage models, the timeless classics. You know, here's one that Louis Vuitton re-released, the Boulogne. You know, here's one that Louis Vuitton re-released, the Boulogne. Another one that Louis Vuitton re-released and called it a different name, used to be the Salon, is now the Diane. They made changes on that one. So I figured I'd talk a little bit about the new Ellispse because I like it. And I'll tell you what I like about it, and I'll also tell you why you might like it or why you might not like it. So the reason why I want to talk about the new Ellispse coming out by Louis Vuitton is because it's unique. I love unique bags. I am a fan of unique bags. And if you are too, then you might really like this bag. Some people don't like it because to them, it reminds them of a frog face. If you take a look at it, I personally don't see that. What I see is more of the unique design. I like the geometrical shape being a little bit angular on the sides, round on the top, a little bit flat. I like the different angles of this bag. You might also like the shape of the bag because it's a little bit different. That's what I like about it. You may or may not like that design. Personally, I like the unique shape of it. I like the unique look of it, but I'll also tell you a little bit why you might not want to buy this bag. This bag also features a front pouch with a zipper. I love anything that's going to give me added functionality. My question is whether or not it would hold everything that we need in that front pocket. So when I think of the front pocket, when I think of front pockets, and I have the Odeon, so whenever I'm thinking about front pockets, I'm thinking about, can my phone fit in a front pocket? I'm not sure the phone will fit in the front pocket of the new Ellispse. That's one con. The other thing I'm wondering is, after you put your phone in it, can you put your keys in there? Can you put some hand sanitizer in there? What else can fit in there? Can you put a card holder in there? What else can fit in there? I'm always trying to figure out, like, what are some of the little things that might give me a little bit more versatility from my bag, especially for a bag. This one costs $2,500 versus the Boulogne. This is $2,370. I'm looking for functionality in my bag. The other thing that I like is it looks like it comes with an interior pocket, and then it also comes with the interior brown lining. It's not microfiber. It's like the interior textile lining that Louis Vuitton typically does. But it looks like they went back to the old textile lining, the typical brown lining that they used to have. It's very different from this soft textile lining. It's very, very different. This is much more of like a satiny feel. And what they have in the Ellispse that they just released is the same fabric that they used in old vintage Louis Vuittons. What you're getting in this model is truly Louis Vuitton, classic Louis Vuitton. This bag is timeless. They even released it in the same raw Pochette handles that it came in before. So those are a lot of the similar features had before that they decided to pull forward. Now, reasons why I wouldn't be interested in it, why you might not be interested in it are very small reasons. And one of them is super, super picky. So forgive me, but it's just, again, when I get into my low buy, when I get into this mindset, it's really for me analyzing every little detail that is not going to work for me, because every single little detail has got to bring me joy at this point. If I'm going to spend the money, I want to want it. I want to want it with every fiber of my being. So here are some detractors for me. The first is the Pochette handles are raw. And while I'm a Pochette girl, one of the things I have come to appreciate about Louis Vuitton's new materials is the waterproof effect, okay? I literally have no worries when I use this bag. Literally, it was soaked and drenched in a downpour by accident, this bag, and all the water beads up and just rolls right off. It does not even stay on it. It does not even sink into it. This T26 is indestructible. I have no concerns. When I look at the handles of the Ellispse, I have a lot of concerns. I like to wear lotion. I carry lotion in my purse. I know that I might slip up and grab that handle without my lotion being dry. If you have sweaty palms, everybody gets nervous. When I speak, I get nervous. My heart is beating fast. I accidentally grab that bag after I get off stage and to get some gum to calm myself down, and next thing you know, I got stains on my handles. That is a big detractor for me. So I would not want this bag for that reason. The second big detractor for me, and this is super picky, but it's still a big deal for me, but I do wonder if it's going to be an issue with this bag as much as it used to be in the past, is where the placement of the strap rings are to connect your strap to the bag. I don't like that placement. I'm not a fan of the opposite side of the bag, placing a ring here and then placing the ring here and connecting it, because the bags always end up turning and shifting around on you. If you want to wear it as a shoulder, it just always goes and twists around. I hate it when my bags did that. I notice it only ever happens when I have bags that have that particular strap setup is something that I know just won't work for me. Now, the last thing that I'll say, and it's neither a pro nor a con, it's just is the price. The price is $2,500. It is what it is with Louis Vuitton at this point. I think if you're going to be looking for monogram canvas bags, that we can expect price points over $2,000, over $2,500 going forward. The last thing that I want to say about the Ellispse, why you might not be a fan, is I brought out my loop for this reason. When I look at the Ellispse, what I see is an upside down loop. That's what I see. I see an upside down loop on the top, arrowing in, if you will, towards the bottom. So that's what I see when I pull out my loop, and when I think about the Ellispse is, if you don't like the shape of the loop, if you don't like the aesthetic of the loop, if you feel like the loop is something that doesn't fit a lot, the other thing to know is that you're probably going to get the same outcome with the Ellispse, okay? I mean, it's an upside down loop, but it narrows towards the bottom. It's similar to the angularity of the Neverfull, and a lot of people remark that they don't like the fact it's set up with the bag where it's narrow at the bottom, it's big at the top, and you have to sort of pack everything in a certain way, and then maybe you're throwing in like a scarf or a blanket on top because that's where the space is. I don't know what the setup is going to be like on the inside of the Ellispse, but I am thinking you'll be able to get a lot more inside than you can the loop, because there's just going to be a lot more space. You're going to have this entire bottom section, if you will. This entire bottom section will exist, but nevertheless, the entire shape of it still means that you're only going to be fitting like the capacity of a small bag like the Ballon. It's a PM size. I consider the Ballon like a PM bag. So the things that fit into my Ballon, I could safely bet and say that it will fit into the Ellispse. So that's one of the things that I thought about with this bag, was taking into account the shape of it, taking into account the price of it, taking into account, I feel like they really could have given us treated vachetta handles. That's just my thought. Taking into account where the strap placement of the rings, it's probably not a bag for me. It's probably not something that I would buy, at least not at this time. Same thing for the Ivy Walk, because I have other bags that are similar in nature, or that I just think is a better price point. And you know, the T26, it doesn't have that longer strap like the Ivy Walk, but if you have other bags in your collection, then it's no hardship to just change out the gold chain with one of those straps. And that's the other thing that I really do like about the T26 is it's a bag. If I want it to be a bag, all I have to do is change the strap. So I just wanted to come on here, give you my thoughts on those new designs, because I think they're great. I am a monogram girl. I'm a Louis Vuitton girl. I love it all. I love the luxury. I just happen to be on my no buy right now, which just means I'm taking a pause from shopping. I started the year brand new. I never start off wanting anything in the year. So that's a little bit about my mindset, is my calendar stays empty for a while until later on in the year when things start to come out that I really desire. And at this point, I've saved for it. So right now, I don't see anything on the horizon that I'm interested in, but that doesn't stop me from doing my forensic analysis and giving you all the details and giving you the reviews, because I'm doing it anyway for myself. So if you like that kind of content, if you still like the unboxings, if you like the reviews and the comparisons, things like that, then I hope you'll subscribe and you'll come back for more. And if you like today's video, if you really like today's video, then I hope you'll give it a like and a thumbs up. It does help me with the algorithm. If you've made it this far, then just know I am doing a perfume giveaway. I've already given away 2 of these. One went to my recent winner for 1,400 subscribers, Lee Ruckle. I have not heard from you, lady, on my Instagram. I need your information. If you want your perfume before I give it away, I need you to reach out to me with your contact information. You have until 1,500 subscribers, my friend. You have until the next. All right, so if you want to find some perfume, go to my website, wilomilo.com, sign up, code name perfume, catch me there, and I will see you in the next one. Go over and follow me on Instagram, KBotLV. Subscribe here on my YouTube channel, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next time.